All right, so today I am with fourth generation pitmaster Sloan Rinaldi. How are you doing today?
Fantastic. Thank you very much for having me, Denny. I
Of,
certainly appreciate it.
of course, thank you for being here. So let me begin by let me be, words, they are hard today, very hard.
Yes, they are. They are most days, right?
Yes. Let me begin by asking you about how you captivated audiences on Netflix's third season of BBQ Showdown, which premiered last month. What did you take away from this experience?
Oh, wow. Number one, a real sense of community. Okay.
Okay.
I think that there was someone for everyone to identify with in this cast.
Mhm.
We immediately bonded as a family. We were all so different. There was only one Sloan, basically,
Yeah.
and uh, a girl from Kentucky and someone from, New Orleans. And, it's just amazing mix of diverse cultures
Mhm.
and which is representing, the country as a base as it is. So I thought we felt that it was a real sense of community and unity between us, and we think that definitely spoke well on camera. It transitioned well, I think, and
Yeah.
I think it was very natural and organic and authentic, and there was just a lot of love. And
Mhm.
we all actually have a cast thread going, and we felt that we were so excited for it to drop, so that people would actually see that it,
Yeah.
that we have more that unites us than really, literally, than
Mhm.
divides us. There's a reason for those cliches, and it's a fact.
Oh
It's
yeah,
a
for
fact,
sure, for sure.
and we've depicted that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. So why did you want to be involved with the show, and did you have any hesitation about competing?
no hesitation whatsoever.
Okay.
The producers, the casting director, up to the executive producer who created the show, the AD, I mean, the actual director, everyone involved were just incredible people to work with, the best in their field,
Hmm.
so creative, so committed to creating a show that does feel good,
Yeah.
is about community. And it's just, for me, barbecue is probably the only culinary genre that you can take the poorest guy and the wealthiest guy and literally you put them at the same table and
Hmm.
they are experiencing the same culinary cuisine. You can't
Yeah.
do that with taking fortunately an underprivileged guy and putting him in a fine dining situation, or
Mhm.
even a guy that's making $50,000 a year. Put him in a fine dining, he doesn't fit in. But in barbecue, you can take and the wealthy guy won't go the other way either, but
Yeah.
they will come together for barbecue, right? And they
Right.
literally sit at the same table, and it's a brotherhood, a sisterhood, it's a community thing, and it's in Texas, it's cultural.
Hmm.
It's so ingrained in our fabric, and thank God for it. Thank God for it, because Texas, it can be. It's a red. I'm in a very blue city in a very red state,
Yeah, you're in
right?
Houston, right?
So yeah, I'm in Houston.
Yeah.
And as a matter of fact, all the major cities in Texas are blue,
Oh,
heavily
yeah.
blue, right? I mean,
Hmm.
we've had a lesbian mayor, we've had black mayors,
Hmm.
we've had it all, right? And we're very diverse. And we have surpassed New York as the most diverse city in the nation,
Really?
okay? So, oh yeah, our culinary scene, our cultural scene is unparalleled.
Okay.
It's world class, world class. We have the largest, most sophisticated medical network system in the entire world,
Okay.
to begin with, and then that education, the arts, our plays of what is the stage scene, all of that theater scene. It's just unparalleled. So it's a great city to be in. But I've seen it, obviously grow over. I was born here, so 1963. It's not what it's become something that's I'm so proud of.
Mhm.
So,
Yeah.
but Texas as a whole is a very conservative state, obviously,
Hmm.
but it's not representative of really the people. They gerrymandered and redistrict Texas to a way that um, the majority of the votes go to the rural areas,
Yeah,
to
of
be honest with
course.
you,
Yeah.
right?
Hmm.
So unfortunately, that's how our state government looks, but that's not how the people are.
Hmm.
So it's very different. I want people to understand that. It's very
Yeah,
important to
yeah.
me because Houston's an incredible city, and it's very welcoming to all people.
Yeah, for sure, definitely.
Yeah.
Well, on Barbecue Showdown, which challenge was your most wow, I cannot speak today. I'm sorry. Which challenge was your absolute favorite?
Oh gosh, there were so many. Obviously, the first thing on my agenda, my priority was not to get eliminated first,
That's a good
right?
goal.
That was a good goal. And then secondly, it was about making it to the brisket challenge.
Brisket, okay.
Okay,
Hmm.
yeah, which was fairly deep in, and I think that was the final four, if I'm not mistaken, right? So yeah, making it to the brisket challenge. My favorite though had to be Maddie Matheson for the fast slow food challenge. Whatever, man.
Awesome.
I mean, I am such a fan. the bear, but Matty himself, he's larger than life. He's so entrepreneurial in the culinary world, and that's how I perceive myself. That's what I want to be in this aspect. First, I'm entrepreneurial before I'm anything. So I like to say that I'm an entrepreneur with a culinary passion.
Oh
So
yeah.
my favorite episode was definitely Matty Matheson, and having him sit across from me and look at my plate and look at me like my dogs look at me for brisket.
Yes, yes. I love it.
Loved it. To be able to feed that man and him enjoy what I cooked for him, I'm beyond.
Exactly.
Absolutely. Absolutely beyond.
Yes. Now, this wasn't your first TV appearance. In 2008, you were selected by Food Network and Chopped as the only woman.
2018.
2018, yes.
Yes.
Not 2008. You selected by Food Network and Chopped as the only woman to represent Texas in the Girls Master tournament. Is that correct?
That is correct. That was some heavy hitters there, man. That was I like to say that I choked in that experience. That was my first time in a food competition TV series, right?
Mm-hmm.
And going in, when I get there and realize that I'm up against two of the top barbecue joints in the state of Texas, right? Mm-hmm. In Texas, it's in my group in Texas, and as the concept was Texas against North Carolina, Memphis, and Kansas City barbecue, right? So it was promoted as a month-long tournament. So the first episode is Texas. No, I think we were later in the actual airing of it. So they promoted it all month long. It gets down to Texas, and I walk in, and it's those guys. Leo, he has the top 3 joint in the state.
Yeah.
Esau Ramos, is in the top 10. And then one of our judges is Ernest Cervantes. I mean, they're all buddies, so I'm like, oh my God, but that's all good. That's all good. It was such a learning experience. One thing I've always talked about in business as an entrepreneur is that you work your plan, right?
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Right. You plan to succeed. If not, you're not, bottom line. So anyway, I had a plan going in. I've been working with a producer, and she said to me that she works 80 hours a week. And that she knows when she goes home, she's making a pasta dish, right? She doesn't know what kind of pasta dish, just knows from pasta. So, okay, I gotcha. So I had a plan going in, formulated a really nice bite, for the first round. Yeah. And it would be a crostini. It's basically a filet bruschetta. Okay. Really nice slice of filet, garlic mayo, caramelized onion. And it was just a great bite, right? And so they literally hand me the ingredients that I could have comprised that dish, right? But what they hand us all was short ribs that are 6-hour cooked, mealworms, never worked with them, okra, and freaking Texas toast. Yeah. But had I expanded my mind in that moment and not choked, and worked my plan as I've done my entire freaking life, I would have gotten past the first round. So I walked out. You literally walk out the door and you're on the street, man, when you're out, there. They don't even give you a bottle of water, right?
Yeah, they're like, you're out.
No, you're out. And so that was that experience. And I knew then when I was talking to my dad walking through Central Park, I said, I just choked, man. I did not work my plan. I said, that will be the last time that happens.
Yeah,
for sure. So in BBQ Showdown, it was about really, they articulated exactly what they expected of us. It was about listening to their expectations, what the criteria was for that challenge, and giving them exactly that. Right. Yeah. So I would look around and all the other casts were just like throwing extra shit everywhere. Man, I'd walk by, I'd be done 30 minutes early and like walk over by their, table or their area. And I'm thinking to myself, maybe I'm an underachiever. I've never been accused of that. Right. Never been accused of that. But I'm very detail oriented, very obsessed about time management and flavor profiles and putting things together specifically as requested. Right. So I'm one of those people, and I'm real dialed in that way. And time management is critical for me, right? Okay. So I would either win it or be the second, right? Come in second. Never even got a whiff of the bottom, so I was very proud of that.
Yeah, you should be.
Very proud of that. Yeah.
But even by competing with these top pitmasters in the country, how did it feel to know that you were breaking down barriers, not only for women in general, but queer women in this industry?
Oh, God, it's amazing for me. I'm so honored to be able to represent, number one, as an entrepreneur and a lesbian. I've been an out lesbian since I was born. I was never able to pass. I was born in 1963. I came out as a lesbian. I lived as a lesbian. It's always been, right?
Yeah.
And people have been really blessed that people accept me just because of who I am, not, because of what they think I might be,
Yeah, definitely.
So that's been great. So in business, I owned a large-scale commercial landscape construction company for decades, and was one of the only women in the state and in the country that did that. So I was always proud of the fact that I was in male-dominated industries and succeeding as a lesbian. Okay.
Yeah.
So I felt my mission in my entire life has been to represent our people well. Okay. That whomever I come across, whether it be in a boardroom or whatever, on site in a pre-construction, meeting for Walmart, a new Walmart, right? 50 contractors, I'll be the only woman. Of course, I'm the only gay person and lesbian. And know that I might be the only one they ever come across in business.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Maybe they don't realize they have a sister, cousin, whatever, brother, that could be gay. Well, they're seeing me, right? So it is my job to represent well to them, right?
Yeah.
And I've done that my entire life. That's been my goal throughout my entire professional career.
Cool.
Yes.
Cool. Well, how come after you retired from construction, what made you decide to pick up the family trade? Why not immediately go into barbecue?
Well, one, I'm an ambitious person. Okay. Number one. Okay. And then secondly, I had a light bulb moment. My mom had passed, right? And unfortunately, my mom was a very unstable person, very mentally ill, and she died the way that I had always feared she would, right? At first, there's a sense of relief that she's not suffering, right?
Yeah.
Mentally anymore, and spiritually. So then you sit in with, oh my God, she really is dead, kind of thing, right?
Yeah.
So there was some sadness for me there. And so I sold my business and to some folks that had worked for me for a long time. So it was really, that was all good. So I started watching Barbecue Pitmasters. It's a show that launched a lot of barbecue competition careers, right?
Yeah.
So, but I looked around, there was only one woman that I thought was, okay, she was the winningest woman in barbecue. She was entrepreneurial, right? And she was just a badass. And it was Melissa Cookston.
Okay.
I'm like, I can do that.
Yeah.
Okay. She's doing it. I'm going to watch her. That's what I'm going to do. I mean, from beginning to end, from multimedia, from barbecue, sauces, joints. I mean, the whole deal. I'm going to put the whole package together. That's what she says we can do. If I see it, I can be it, kind of thing, right? That's how I approach everything. So that was it. I went out and got a small pit from HEB, which is our biggest grocery chain in Texas. They're huge, massive. Okay. Got a little pit, started smoking on it, realized right away I was gifted. God had just blessed me and said, here you go. My family had been doing it since 1909. From the back of my great-grandfather's general store. I had never had any desire. I didn't even like the culinary genre. I mean, I didn't like the experience, the cuisine, really. Okay. I had done smoked turkeys on Thanksgiving because of my stepfather from East Texas and Beaumont. He did it. He showed me how it done. It was incredible. Once you have a smoked turkey, you don't want it baked.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Right? You know what I'm saying? So that was the thing I would do on Thanksgiving, but that was the extent of it. I would use mesquite, which is a horrible wood. I mean, you bite into it, you're tasting mesquite, right?
Yeah.
Oh God. So, but somehow God told me, he said, this is it. This is what you're going to do. Because I always saw myself in media, right? But landscape didn't get me into media, but I knew barbecue, it would be part of media. Okay. And ultimately it would get me to this point to be able to bring a message that I ultimately want to give. Right.
Yeah.
So, immediately, all things started happening. I was good at it. So I called a large pit maker, okay, in East Texas, and they built big pits for big restaurants. The guys that I was on Chopped with had the same pit maker. So they built me a pit. I went and picked it up, huge rig, hooked it on the back of my F-250, big black F-250 4x4. Of course, I am in Texas. Hauling it down the highway, bring it home in January 2014, parked it in the driveway, and started smoking barbecue.
Nice.
And started doing pop-ups. The moment I smoked my first brisket, though, I created my sauce. The moment I created my sauce, I visualized it in HEB, where I just bought my little pit to practice on. HEB had 300 stores. They're massive, supersized Texas kind of grocery stores. They're huge. They have a lot of Texas-based products. The choices there are tremendous. The best produce, the best proteins, the best choices and selections of everything. If you don't have an HEB and if you've not been to Texas to experience one, it's unfortunate because they really do expand across the country. They're the number one rated grocery chain in the country, as far as service. Okay. They're huge. And so anyway, the moment I created my sauce, I knew it would be a perfect fit for them. And sure enough, within 6 months, maybe a year, that was within the year, within the first year, they received an email from someone who had my sauce at a pop-up, right? So I started doing pop-ups. And they received the email and it went to the sauce boss, Mark Bradshaw. He's the head buyer for all the sauces at HEB, right? He's the gatekeeper. So I get a call from him and he wants me to haul my rig up to HQ in San Antonio. That's where their HQ is. It's
Okay.
incredible, beautiful campus. It's really nice. All limestone buildings. It's really nice and historic. So I hauled my rig up there, smoked brisket, and presented our sauce.
Mm-hmm.
And he literally, it's the first time as a salesperson, right? I walked into the room and the deal was done before I even sat down. You know, they put me in all their stores. I mean, unprecedented entry. I mean, just dropped the bomb, did everything for me from bottling to putting it on the shelf. Wow. I didn't have to touch it. It was amazing, amazing experience. Yeah, and it's led to everything that's happened.
Yeah,
a lot of it, you know, it's
a
lot of things have come together.
Definitely, everything just came together. Like you developed your Texas Q. Yeah, I was going to ask about your barbecue sauces, but what makes your barbecue sauces so unique? How is it different from many others?
You know, it's when I sat down to write a recipe out for my barbecue sauce, I literally wrote down, it's a list of 15 ingredients, right? And I started at the top and I wrote all the way down to the bottom of what I thought flavor profile wise would create the ideal barbecue sauce. Okay. Barbecue sauces tend to be regional a lot of times, very regional. In Texas has a black peppery type barbecue sauce that's usually more spicy than not. Okay. More spicy than sweet. Say, for instance, Memphis, Kansas City, Georgia, North Carolina. North Carolina, a bit more mustard, and those other other two areas are Georgia, Memphis, Kansas City. Those three areas are more sweet. Okay.
Yeah.
So we got vinegary, mustard, sweet. Texas, peppery, savory, heat, right? Yeah. So I dropped the black pepper. I don't like black pepper in everything. It doesn't go in everything. I'm Italian. There are very few black pepper applications in Italian food, as far as I'm concerned. And there's people that use black pepper in bread sauce. It does not go. I'm sorry. I don't think black pepper goes in red sauce, of any kind, whether it's bolognese or my barbecue sauce. Okay. So I'm the first person probably to create a barbecue sauce that does not have black pepper. Nice. Right. So, but the other ingredients are amazing. They're absolutely amazing. And they're very simple. And it really, if you sit down and think about what do you want in a barbecue sauce? Well, I don't want just ketchup. I want tomato sauce also. Right. I want to start with butter. Okay. All right. You know what stole it to HCB was onion.
Really?
Bits of onion. I leave bits of onion. I don't pulverize it all. I start with butter, saute onion, and then add on to that. So the onion is sauteed in the butter for a while. I don't rush the process, and then it cooks for 3 hours.
Awesome, very nice. That sounds amazing. Really, really. They're making me hungry over here. Just thinking that barbecue sauce. I can really go for a good barbecue right now.
You know, in Texas, the thing is we don't put sauce on anything, so it's always on the side. But to have great barbecue and also have a great sauce, you don't find that very often. So it's really good.
Very true. Very true. Yeah. Yes. Now, you also recently released your Barbecue Showdown cookbook, which features your 13 recipes I was seeing on the show. How's that been?
That's correct. Oh my God. Okay. It's like the only regret that I have about this cookbook is that I didn't have it positioned on our e-commerce site the day the show dropped. Okay. It took a little longer to get together. Okay. The process, but I had such an amazing team that worked with me and creative wise. And it took a little time, but we got it together very quickly. I think the show dropped on the 4th and the book dropped pre-order on the 22nd. So that's that's not long. So it's amazing recipes that have been in my family for centuries, right? That I took through and elevated with ingredients, different ingredients that my mom had used. Like she would use, for instance, in our baked squash casserole, she would use saltines. Well, instead of saltines, I use Ritz. Okay. She would boil freaking squash and onion. I'm like, oh my God, no. So I saute the squash and onion and butter, right? And then topping. So I don't just put crackers on the topping. I'll soak them in butter and crush them, pulverize them. And that makes an incredible crust when it finishes, you know? So those recipes that are centuries old are in there that I've elevated with premium ingredients and refined cooking technique, right? But then also those things that I had to create on the fly that are, you know, challenge-winning recipes that we created on set, you know, for those specific challenges. Number one is the Texas Q rodeo burger that everybody's, you know, obsessing about, you know, that Maddie loves so much. You know, those things, and the beer brine chicken, Creole chicken, you know, those things are in there as well. And our Texas red chili, you know, that's a family recipe, but still, it's just really a great cookbook that will give people some insight into some amazing Southern soul food recipes that make amazing flavors. Okay. And when I did get there, I was so afflicted with this imposter syndrome. I had never felt that in my life. I didn't really know what it was, but I went back to the hotel after the first couple of days and really started diving into it. Right. I was like, why am I feeling so insecure? You know? But what it was is looking around like cream. from Egypt. He traveled the world literally for brisket, right?
Yeah.
And his platters, his plates, man, are looking so impressive. He's doing so many different things that I've never seen in my life. I'm not a Mediterranean person. I mean, as far as flavors, I've never really dived into that cuisine, so I'm not familiar. And I was looking; it was so beautifully structured, and the different elements that he was bringing together and the fire apparatus that he would use. And so I was kind of, intimidated by that.
Yeah.
And then I looked around, and from Kentucky. Kentucky doesn't even have a culinary scene. I mean, what is their food? They have no food. Rabbit. I'm sorry, but she talked about she had to kill a rabbit with her feet. They didn't get they didn't get that on air, but oh my God, she told that story. I'm thinking, and then she throws down Asian flavors, and I'm like, oh my God, so what the hell? But no, what I did find, and that obviously, and I feel very proud of, is that my Southern soul food, all right, style of cooking, when done correctly with refined technique and elevated and just premium ingredients, number one, are incredible dishes, and they have incredible flavor. My barbecue is succulent and it's melting in your mouth, this little bites of incredible barbecue. And we do it with a sultry smoke bath. So I know how to manage fire, that it gives it just the right amount of smoke that accentuates the flavors, right? And doesn't overpower it. So I felt, all of it so well came together. I just felt so blessed that my flavor stood up against those world-class flavors.
Oh yeah, for sure. Definitely.
Yeah.
Well, Sloan, what advice do you have for women who want to pursue a career in predominantly male-oriented fields?
That's my message. That's really what I want to carry forth in anything that I do in the future, is to work and collaborate with women that are succeeding in male-dominated industries. Yeah. Okay. I know what it takes to do that. And it does take, for me, it's about passion, right?
Always
work ethic. Always passion, work ethic, right? You have to have a skill. Skills are learnable if you have passion and work ethic, right?
Yeah.
Having a skill is very helpful. It'll benefit you. And that's what you capitalize on. But those things together, there's nothing you cannot succeed at, whatever industry you're in, right? So I want to work with those women that understand that, yes, we have to work harder, that no one will ever outwork us, period. And understand that that's what it takes for us to succeed. It's okay. We can carry that weight, and let's just, let it rip.
Yeah, definitely. For sure. Love it. Well, how can one stay up to date with you?
Please go to texasq.com. All roads lead from texasq.com. Our Instagram, my personal Instagram, Sloan Rinaldi, and then Facebook, Texas Q on as well. And I think we're fixing to hit TikTok and the YouTube channel, all that kind of good stuff. But really, texasq.com, everything you want to know about us, all of our merchandise, our books, sauces, rubs. We have our Creole pork rub that's dropping and is available for pre-order now. Nice. Our brisket rub, which is an extremely specific peppercorn that's sourced from India that stays on the vine longer. And it, given that time to ripen, it develops more aromatics and a complexity that is not found in normal black pepper. As I said, I'm not a black pepper fan. Yeah. But my brisket and all my beef ribs are done with a specific black peppercorn and kosher salt. Nice. In a specific ratio. Okay. So all that stuff is there, and we'll have so much more coming. We're partnering with a huge pit maker that's going global as we want to go into Europe as well, all over the United States. We hope to be in LA, NYC, Aspen, and Vegas soon, and just taking Texas barbecue everywhere we can. Awesome. So yeah, it's been fantastic. The global outpouring of kindness, I want to say, number one, it's been amazing. Good. Absolutely amazing. I expect a little pushback. I have not received any. It's been absolutely incredible. Good. Best experience of my life. Great. So much love out there. So much love.
So much love. Perfect. Well, then before we wrap up, are there any other upcoming projects or anything else you'd like to mention or plug at this time?
Well, yeah, I'm going to be co-hosting my local NBC affiliate. Okay. Channel 2. I have watched it my entire life. I've watched the Today Show. I'm a lifelong Today Show watcher. And they have a midday show. It has the only studio dedicated to it in the whole city. All the other, like ABC, CBS, NBC, is the only one that has its own midday show studio. And they asked me to co-host. So I'm so freaking excited. 8:20 on August 29th. So I think it's noon to 1 or 1 to 2. I got to check that out, Central Time. But I think I get the studio at noon. That's what I'm thinking of. But it's 1 to 2. 1 to 2 p.m. Central Time on August 29th. So that's huge. I got a lot of collaborations coming up that we'll be posting about with local barbecue guys as well. And then our pick collaboration. So there's just a lot going on. Oh, expanding the books, more volumes on the book. We're going to specifically address brisket, I think, in one book by itself.
Okay. Nice.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah, absolutely. But Denny, thank you so much, man. It's
Of
been
course.
awesome talking with you.
You as well.
I appreciate the time.
Of course. Thank you.